Well, shit. Saturday night. Here we go. F.E.A.R podcast. What's up, boys?
Hey, how are we
What's
doing?
up?
Another month's gone by. What happened?
Crazy, eh?
It's going fast.
Sure
That's
is.
life.
Sure is by. Yeah, man. But
If
all
you
good.
blink-
Yeah, all good.
If you blink, you're gonna miss it.
And some other incredible movies that we picked this month.
Mm.
Holy, whoo!
Yeah.
These ones had me going. I'm guilty. There's one I haven't watched, but yeah, the guys are there.
It's all
I'll
good.
keep you updated.
We've got you covered. No problem.
Yes,
But,
we do.
Uh,
And we
two-
apologize. We
the two
apologize
other
for
ones,
coming a little late today, but we forgot that England does not do daylight saving. So Mark thought we were doing this in an hour.
My bad. I was like, guys, what are you doing? I've got an hour to go yet. What do you mean?
William says, "Love your music so far, guys. Looking for the next song." So I know this is going for Knightfall.
Yeah, this is for me. Thank you, William, so much. We've got the album coming out actually next week on the 22nd on digital, and then we have physical copies on our website. So www.knightfallband.com, and you can order your physical copy there as well. We will be releasing to streaming, but we're still going to be releasing the rest of the songs one at a time to streaming. So if you want the whole thing, you'll have to go to either digital or to buy it physically.
Smart.
Makes sense.
I love it. Can't wait to hear it. By the way, I mean,
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
a big
same.
fan.
I've
I
had a chance,
love the music. I love the.
It's a journey.
Right.
You're
That's the artwork.
gonna be in for it. You're gonna be in for it. It's a journey.
I can't wait to hear it for sure.
I have to admit, I love the artwork. I haven't listened to
Thank
the album
you.
yet. I've had a chance. It's something I was going to have it on when I'm working, day job, but I haven't had a chance yet. But the artwork's incredible.
Thank you. That's
It's incredible. It really
believe it or not, a lot of it. So the Destiny Calling artwork was done by Thomas Eward, which is he's a German artist. So he's amazing. He's done artwork for bands like Avantasia, which is one of like my biggest influences. But the other artwork was actually me using a combination of Photoshop, AI, like a bunch of stuff blended together, because that's the tools that I have to work with. So that's what I did to make all that happen.
Nice.
Weird.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's something you don't see very often now. Like you
Yep.
say, in a digital world, and you add a song on your phone and then give it a second thought. To see artwork of that level is,
But I believe in
Right.
visuals. I believe in
Yeah, sure.
visuals. It makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
it's good stuff.
does.
It's good stuff.
Before we get into the movies, though, let's congratulations, Marc. 1 year tomorrow for the Hathway House of Horror.
Yep. Well, thank you. My first review went up a year tomorrow, or in officially 45 minutes or so, I guess. It's been a crazy ride. I mean, I was thinking, well, people might like it. It might be fun. They might enjoy it. If I'm lucky, I'll get 100 followers, maybe. Pushing on for sort of 2,500 now.
People love it. Love it.
Yeah, it turns out the written review that is a real throwback is kind of popular. And the beauty of it is now I'm finding more and more people, even though like some months are better than others in terms of follows, which is just the nature of it, of course. A lot more people are sharing the work, which is incredible. So like it'll come up saying, such and such shared your review and so on, and and requests stuff. So it's very cool. I think that's probably the best way to put it. It's very cool.
It is. It's
I believe the
really-
year's gone already, but it's going from
It's
strength to
amazing
strength,
when
really.
people like what you do. It surprises me
I know.
too.
I know.
Like,
It's
we
crazy,
love
right?
Your podcast. I'm like,
Well,
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, one of the things that I love about what you do on your end is that you're just so detail oriented with your reviews of the films, like all of the horror movies and stuff. So like, I love that because it's very intuitive. Your ideas, the way that your thought process is when you're going through everything. I love how you kind of present yourself with that. So it's well done, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a process for sure.
Before we get into the movies, William wants to know favorite song. Farewell. Farewell is my favorite.
Oh, thanks, Mel.
I hold my hand up. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm going to listen to it on repeat Monday onwards. So I will come back to you on that one.
Thank you.
There we go.
But yeah, it's all
we, guys?
good.
Shall we?
Let's do this.
All
okay,
right.
So we've got an eclectic pick this month. Obviously, last month we had Valentine's related. This month it was more just stuff we wanted to talk about. So we've got 4 movies for you guys this evening, and they will run in order of Incident on Ghostland, followed by Barbarian, followed by Talk to Me, and then we like to go with a classic. So the final film in the conversation tonight will be 1982's Poltergeist. Thank you, William. Thank you so much.
Mark. All right, let's get into the trailer for Incident.
Yeah, let's go.
What a trip. What a trip.
Rick had a vague feeling something was about to happen. Something in the breeze of twilight had whispered, "It's going to happen tonight."
You just passing through?
No, we're moving here into Aunt Clarice's house.
Okay, what's the story about?
Some guy's been breaking into people's homes, murdering the parents, and sparing the daughters. He stays in the house with her, along with the parents' dead bodies. I like to write stories.
Incident in a Ghostland is your most personal book so far.
Your sales are through the roof. They adore you.
Hello?
Please, you have to come back.
Vera?
They never should have stayed in that house. Ability to create your own world.
I guess the question is why write this book? To keep from going insane.
She keeps reliving that night over and over. Are you gonna let me die alone?
I never should have stayed in that house.
Nobody's here. No one is here, Vera. I know what you want from your sister. They broke me, and now they're playing with you. Do you understand now, Beth? What did you do to me? Except what happened. Tell me what you did! Stop running away!
There you go. I hold my hands up. When we first said we were doing this, I didn't know what it was. Mainly because here it was just called Ghostland. It took me a minute to put the two together. I was like, I haven't seen this. Oh, I have. Hang on.
I think that it was released under both names, I think. Because
maybe.
Sometimes I see Ghostland and sometimes I see Incident in the Ghostland. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's a
on the
trip.
internet.
It's
What
a
a
trip,
movie.
right? Yeah.
Oh, God.
First of all, the mom. Like, if anybody can hear it, she is born in Pierrefonds, Montreal. So she is French. Mylène Farmer is a big singer, a big French singer. So for me to just see her in the movie, first of all, I was like, holy, whoa, okay, hold on a second, you know. She didn't have as big as a role as I thought that she would have. Poor mom.
No.
Spoiler alert, by the way, guys. If you don't see it down there, spoiler alert, the whole fucking show.
Yeah, we're going to be talking.
We're going to spoil these 4 movies up the wazoo. So go watch them and come back. Do come back, obviously, you know.
If you don't care for the spoilers, I mean, you're welcome to hang out.
Stick around. Yep, stick around.
If you want to know what you're getting yourselves into first, hey.
I mean,
problem.
this one was a trip. When I realized what was going on, I was like, mind blown. I was like, oh, wow.
It took me a while too, because like it was like probably a little bit over halfway through the movie before I figured it out.
Yeah, I picked it up. I have to admit, it you know. But, so the guy, this was written and directed by, I'm going to butcher this man's name, so apologies if by some random reason you're watching. Written and directed by Pascal Laguerre. French gentleman who gave us the other, or one of another many classic movies, about 10 years before this, by the name of Martyrs. For those who have seen it, not the remake, not the American remake, but the 2008 original, French extreme cinema movement masterpiece. So he has previous in that respect. He's clearly been toning his art for a while. Very limited release, mainly at film festivals in and around France, with some theatrical releases across Europe and so on. I was unable to do my usual and get a good evening. I wasn't able to get a confirmed budget for the movie, but it brought about $5 million back. I would imagine it did okay on home video based on the content and streaming and so on. But yeah, it's full on. It is a trip. Candy trucks are scary. Let's just put it that way. It's clear to see. It's a funny one, isn't it? Because you're watching it and all of a sudden you think, well, it's part slasher. It kind of feels like it was a bit of a slasher movie. It's got the traits of a slasher movie to it, and then it changes drastically and goes to crazy places.
It's incredible. At first I was like, okay, so this girl lived through this and she's okay. I mean, she's strong. I was like, this girl is really strong, because I'd be probably like destroyed like her sister. And then she goes home to see her sister, and then it starts unraveling, and I was like, wait a second, and then I was completely, when I saw that she was actually stuck in her head, I was like, wow, this is incredible. Yeah.
And it's seamless, isn't it, as well? It seamlessly moves you into that point. Like, Vera, the sister, is obviously, you think she's the crazy one. She's been broken. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, you're back. You've come back to me. And then you go, okay. It's very cool. The twist is original. I'll openly admit I did see it coming, but not until a few minutes or so before. Got to a point where I was like, well, hang on a sec, something doesn't quite marry up. And then once I said, well, actually, maybe this is not quite how it's meant to be. And then lo and behold, it goes the way it goes. I think one of the issues may be with the movie, and I'm not panning it by any means. It's a lot of fun, and it's a hard watch if you're not indoctrinated to that sort of stuff. But the writer director Pascal Leclerc, his English isn't the best by far. And I think the translation into an American-made English-speaking movie, the dialogue at times is a bit wonky.
I think it happens often when a film is made in French and then will be translated to French.
It's a little bit wonky, but I mean, it's all here. It's not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. No. It earns its 18 or its R rating, or maybe X for you guys. I don't know. Proudly.
No, it was still R. It was definitely still R, but it was that movie. The movie is Incident in a Ghostland if you're in America, or in some places it's also called Ghostland. Yeah.
2018, so it's not an old movie by any means in a few years.
No. But that one had me going. That definitely had me going. Like, it's been a while since I've had a movie that just kind of kept me on the edge of my seat like that one did. Because I really didn't know what was going to happen next, because it kept bouncing back and forth from her reality and it's crazy.
For sure. And the like you say, that the part of the mom, I think her name's Clarissa or Clarice. I think it's Clarissa. She's the way it's interpreted, she's absolutely fine. And it's Vera that's broken, and she locks herself away and so on. And then the whole thing's just a giant house of cards, and it just comes crumbling down. Interestingly, the young actress who played young Vera, a lady by the name of Taylor Hickson, during a specific scene in which she was pushed into a pane of glass, suffered permanent facial disfigurement when the pane of glass shattered.
Yeah, you can still see on
you can see it. You can.
She has a big scar. It's
Yeah.
actually it's I know exactly when it happened. You know, in the movie at one point she's at the glass, the big door, the
Hmm.
glass, and she's banging on the door. They were telling her, "Bang, come on,
Yeah. Yeah. Bang harder. Yeah.
harder," and she
Yeah.
went right through the window in her face. She sued.
Yeah. I was about to say it went to court, etc. Like it went the whole hog.
Yep.
Yes. So not good. Um. Yeah. It's
So,
just
so
it's.
Mark, let's pause this for a second. So William is curious, what exactly is the Hathway House of Horror?
Oh, okay. It's the delusions of grandeur of a man with a lovely beard and a taste for horror movies. I jest. It's a movie review page. I review horror movies on Facebook and twice a week most of the time, and it's a little bit different. I go into a huge amount of detail. Give it my own little twist, my own sense of humor, my own scoring system. Um, yes, there you go. But yeah, essentially, it's a movie review page. William, come join us. It's fun. Checking in's easy. Checking out's murder.
You can check
Um,
out once you're
No,
in
you
here.
or you can't check out yet. So
Mark's-
the
It's
original
Mark's
plan
House
was
of Wax.
it is the original plan was it was something like you could read the review on your way to work, or you could read the review if you're whatever. So it's in the world of where we do this, which was never in my intention. A written review is rare. So yes, that's what it is. I take requests. I cover everything and anything. I am the self-confessed geek / expert / obsessive. Here, I think it's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, come say hi. But that's what it is.
And it's not your normal reviews that you'll read. Mark has his own signature, so definitely go check it out.
It's definitely his own style. Like he says, he's very, very, very detailed. So like if you really want to get the why and everything behind the movie too, Mark is so knowledgeable, and he does so much research on each of the films that he does the reviews for, that it gives you the full picture, not just the movie, but behind the scenes, like all the other stuff that you kind of want to know about the movies. Mark, Mark has it all.
I try to cover as much as I can. Right down to writers, directors, budget figures, box office, any bits of trivia, obviously a synopsis of the movie. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. And I try to keep it different to a degree. I mean, I've just done the Insidious movies, probably the most mainstream set of reviews I've done all year.
Yeah, you have movies that I've never heard about.
Oh yeah.
And and a lot of it is, I get a lot of it can be requests at times. Other times it's just like, right, okay, what do I fancy? So I finished doing trying to off topic a little bit. I finished doing the Insidious movies yesterday. So because that was quite mainstream and quite, run of the mill, if you like, Hollywood horror, the next batch of movies are the more extreme, the more sort of, test your resolve. So I've got 4 movies coming that will, if you do decide to go and watch them based off my review, they'll definitely change you.
Nice. We'll definitely check it
So,
out.
yeah, 100%. That starts on Tuesday. So it's normally a Tuesday and a Friday, day job and life permitting.
Hey, Sid.
Hey. So favorite scenes? Do we have any favorite scenes? Favorite kills? Favorite scenes?
Man,
Favorite scene? The doll. When what's her name? Hold on, I gotta go get her name there. The sister, Crystal Reed, is it Beth?
Mm-hmm.
When she tells her, "Don't move," he doesn't. Don't make a sound.
Don't
and
cry,
she's just
isn't it? Don't
sitting
cry.
there,
Yeah,
and he's
me too.
snapping the doll's fingers off, and I was like, and burning them. And I was like, oh,
That's what did me.
hell,
The blowtorch.
Here we go. Like,
Yeah, the blowtorch did me massively.
and then he went towards her, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. I don't think I'm ready for this.
I wasn't either. And then, like, the other thing that happened shortly thereafter is where he got sidetracked by the actual big doll, and I was like, all right. So he's like very noise oriented. Now, it's funny thing is my kids play this mobile game that's called it's like forget what it is. It's anyway, it's some horror game where you have to survive in this house. What's it called? I can't remember it now. Oh my God.
Remember.
But
No.
the guy from this movie, from this movie reminds me of the thank you. My wife just did it. No, not Hello Neighbor. The other one, the really Mr. Meat. That's what it is, Mr. Meat. Okay, so you have to survive in this house, and you have to like unlock all of these things. And Mr. Meat is this big, scary dude that just basically runs after you the entire time, and you have to try to avoid him. And the guy from this movie reminded me of that computer game character, like 100%.
The big guy, the ogre.
The
Would
big
they
guy,
call
the
him
ogre. Yeah, the ogre reminds me of that character completely. He freaks me out, like, because he was like the real life embodiment of this game I've watched my kids play. Seriously, yeah, he does. In the game, he has a pig mask too. It's a creepy game, and yeah. But this reminded me of that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never showing my kids.
One thing about Ghostland, though, is that I love the fact that I will be able to show my 14-year-old. There's no uncomfortable scene, right? Because we have to be careful with streaming platforms and everything. You know what I'm talking about.
They take it far.
It could have went that way, and it didn't go that way. I like where it went.
Yeah, they took it to a certain level, but they didn't go beyond, which is reminiscent of old school horror, where they take it to a certain level, but they don't go beyond. Like, for example, the one we're going to be talking about tonight, Poltergeist.
You have the fear of something icky's going to happen, maybe, with the ogre and that girl. And then it goes just pure horror, and you're like, okay, I'm good with that.
The scariest thing is just, the scariest stuff's the stuff up here, and it's what you don't see, and you don't get that so much these days, admittedly. I have a bit of a reason for why it draws back though, because again, if you've seen Martyrs, there is no line in Martyrs. So when American Money came in, it was do whatever you want, do it in reason. There was no, again, the remake of Martyrs tells you everything. I know he wasn't involved in that, but yeah, it's one of those where Martyrs has no line. Martyrs is an endurance. Plain and simple. So when American Money came, because Martyrs was huge, obviously, he took the money because why wouldn't you, obviously? But it was like, do what you like. You're an artist, do what you like, but don't do that. Just pull it back. Like you say, that R rating is the difference in an R and an X for you guys is huge, isn't it? Over here, we have PG 15, 18. That's it. So it's a very different scoring system, and very. Over here now, films have to be absolutely brutal or have a lot of nudity to get an 18. You'd be amazed the amount of horror movies that get 15 rated. Wow. And you think, really? Honestly. So, but no, it's a good movie. One of my favourite lines, although my favourite scene was the same scene as you, Mel, my favourite line was when the police officer says, "Who did this to you?" And she goes, "An ogre and a witch." And I was like, oh man, she is broken. Like, they have broken this girl. And then obviously gets her.
And then that killed me too, is they got away, and I thought that was it. I was like, okay, the cops are here, and then all of a sudden she comes out of and just kills the cops like it's nobody's business. I was just like,
but that's gonna happen because they're
come on, man.
I mean, it's like, would you be taking your time? I'd be grabbing those girls and shoving them in that car and leaving. No, the cops are like, blah blah blah. Let me call it in. Blah blah. It's like, okay, you're dead. And then they died, and I was like. I'm done.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was a good one though. I really enjoyed it.
I was surprised because, like I said, I saw it on TikTok. So I saw the scene where the girls run away. I saw the scene where she's the doll's getting her fingers cracked, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. That's why I gave it to watch for tonight, and I wasn't sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't say it's my favorite. If I were to score it, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
I gave it 3.5 out of 5. So same. Yeah.
The storyline kept
if it would have been
invested.
I think if it would have been made, I'm not saying it's not his vision, but if it would have been made in France under the guise where all bets were off, and we would have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not I'm no Gorn fiend by any means, but I respect the art, and if you're going to do something and that's the plan, that's the plan. So I think if it would have gone that way rather than just pulling back every now and then, I may have scored it higher. I can't say that for sure. The end's a bit cheesy, to say the least. The whole, the Lovecraft section was a bit... but it's fun. It's a fun movie. I mean, not many movies end well, especially in horror, let's be fair. In terms of where you guys can see this, it's available most places in terms of streaming sites. Here in the UK, for anyone from the UK who's joining us at this time of night, it's currently on Prime free with ads. It was one I didn't have to buy this month, guys. Don't own it. I didn't have to buy it. It was there for free.
I mean, we have on Tubi for free here.
Yeah, we don't get Tubi. Issues with GDPR and data protection and our laws of that level are just ridiculous. So, but yes, so on Amazon here with ads, I'd imagine, like you say, for you guys, Tubi or whatever the case may be, maybe AMC or Shudder.
It's on Prime, but you have to purchase for Prime or rent.
Yeah. I have to give Prime their props. They've really upped their game in terms of free movies with ads here. So, and it's not bad either. It's not like an ad every 2 minutes. It's like 4 to 5 ads in a 2-hour movie.
Right.
It's not, it's not bad by any means. Like, I know, having spent time over there, I know what your ads are like. But like, a 15, 20-minute episode of The Simpsons, you get ads at the beginning, ads at the end, ads in the middle. Like we don't really get that so much, to be honest. It's a fun time. It's lesser known, I would imagine. As I say, could be called Ghostland, could be Incident. It's definitely worth your time. Dare I say, it's almost a gateway drug into the sort of more extreme horror movies that are out there. Certainly, the French extremism movement of the early 2000s, which, as again, Mr. Laguerre was certainly part of. If that's something you're interested in and you want to know how much you can take, this is a good place to start.
Do we know what the rating is here?
It's an 18 for me. I'm guessing it's an R for you guys.
It's not rated. They don't actually have a rating for it here.
Don't have a rating.
Okay, it's an 18 here for sure.
I don't think it should be rated that high. I don't think it's an 18.
No, I'm surprised it's an 18. No, I'm surprised it's an 18.
13,
I mean, over here, or maybe it's just old enough that it falls under the old parameters. There's 15s out here that
must
we
be
get 15
because of the violence.
Yeah, it could well be.
Yeah, it definitely
is pretty.
Yeah,
the
violence times. Yeah, and there's no names in it, is there either? Like I don't know. I looked up the cast and none of them have done much really. I think the main actress, Crystal, I think she's been in like episodes of Teen Wolf and
like
CSI
I said, the mom
and stuff
is
like
a
that.
very famous singer in Paris and France, so I mean, that might be the biggest, what I mean, person that they have in the
and I think the things that's the sort of thing, if you know it, isn't it? But I wouldn't have a clue, But no, it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I've only seen it once prior, and it's been a while, so I watched it twice this week. I watched it in the week. I watched it in the week, and I watched it at about 8 a.m. this morning. Because why not? Just to make sure I had the mix.
It's not bad. It's
not at all. And the beauty of it, being on Prime is like I was sat here working. I just had it on my phone.
Yep.
Just so it's like just catching up with it, making odd notes here and there, and so on. So, no, it's good. As I say, it's probably, and this is no slight on it. This is more to do with the quality of the movies we've got. It's probably the weakest movie in the list.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
And that again, that's not I'm not panning it. It's not
an appetizer to get us into the next movie.
Exactly. But it's fun. It's fun. Go check it out if you haven't. Definitely, for sure. Okay. So, moving on from an Incident to Ghostland.
So here's my favorite in the.
This is yours, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite in the bunch.
Yeah.
And my wife is the one that introduced me to this one because she wanted to see me freak out, and I did when I first went the first time I watched it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good. It's a good one.
That one.
Let's watch the trailer.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
This is 476 Barbary, right?
Yeah, I'm renting this place.
No, I booked it a month ago.
Are you sure you have the right place?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
Why don't you come inside and we'll call these idiots. Why don't you just crash here?
Oh, no.
I don't know if you got a great look at this neighborhood, but I don't think you should be out there by yourself. It's dry and there's a lock on the door. By the way, I'm Keith.
Tess.
You take the bedroom and I'll sleep out here on the couch.
God. Keith?
This process might seem overwhelming, but with a little practice, it can soon become a pleasurable experience. This is perfectly natural.
I kind of want to watch it now.
Yep.
Keith, are you having a stroke?
Are you talking?
I was talking and I was on mute. Sorry. Notice how my wife is laughing in the comments.
You're lucky. My wife hates horror. I don't get a chance to watch horror. I wish.
There you go. Saltburn.
Hey, we just got a recommendation.
Yay.
Have you guys not seen it yet?
Nope.
I haven't.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. It really is.
You scared me
if you
right
like,
there
if
with
you
your answer. Yeah,
it's crazy. If you enjoy it, which I think you probably would, watch The Killing of a Sacred Deer after.
Well, I mean, I think we're setting up for the next month right now, so you know.
There you go.
But Killing of a Sacred Deer is such a long, slow burn, and it's just gut-wrenching emotionally. Yeah, we'll talk about it offline. We can go from there. But yeah, Saltburn's good. Okay, so Barbarian. My third favorite movie of 2022. That's how highly I rate this movie. It was a good year for horror. It only came in third behind The Black Phone, which I loved, and X. As you guys know, I'm a big whore for Ty West. So, Ty West, if anything Ty West makes, I'm there. So, X was phenomenal.
We both absolutely adored Black Phone. My wife didn't like the X and Pearl and all that. So I did. I thought they were great, but she didn't like
X.
them.
Yeah. I really like Black Phone. Black Phone. The reason I can say I really enjoyed Black Phone, and maybe that's something we can look at some point, is I kind of didn't think it was very scary, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. You look at it and you go, oh, Scott Derrickson, the guy that made Sinister, amazing, I'm in. Oh, Ethan Hawke, I love Ethan Hawke, I'm in. Oh, hell on, he's the baddie. That doesn't sound great, and then you watch it and it's mind-blowingly good. We're part of the Black Phone. I think we might have to do that one, admittedly. Barbarian is crazy. It another one that starts. Oh yeah, and it starts one way and goes another, and then it flips back, and again, guys, spoilers.
Barbarian,
we're gonna spoil.
Just where she walks up to the house, and he answers the door right there. He's typically typed like if you watch them, he did it. He did Pennywise. He's
just creepy enough, isn't he?
Bad guy. He's tall. He's tall, like towering over her. And then comes in AJ, and he's usually the sweet guy in every movies that he does. And then they kind of flip everything, and my brain hurts.
Skarsgård is just creepy enough in this movie to think, well, he's a nice guy, but something isn't right.
Something's right, yeah.
He's very good. And again, you think, well, it's going to be a stalker,
Oh yeah. At first, I thought it was him.
Yeah, 100%.
I really did. I thought he was messing with her, and then when she goes down the hallway, and you realize that he has just been abducted, and you're just like, oh, wait a minute, didn't see that coming.
Savage. Isn't it?
Oh God,
savage! It really is.
I was doing this. I was so engrossed in it. I was watching the TV like this. So when she comes running up out of nowhere, I jump 6 feet in the air. I swear to you that's the photo that my wife got of me is that moment when I jumped, because that scared the crap out of me. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it's so good, and like you say, the twist is unreal. Made for about $4 million, wasn't released theatrically. I know you guys got it theatrically, but I don't think it was released theatrically anywhere else. It went straight to streaming here for sure. It still brought 50 million in. It did well. And that's, in 50 million in horror movie terms, even to this day, 10 times your budget essentially. It's done well. Written and directed by a guy called Zach Kreger, who you stole my next line. Who, if you don't know who he is, I was unaware, but doing my research as I do, he's predominantly a comedy actor. He's actually an actor, a writer, but he's predominantly, prior to Barbarian, most of his time was spent in comedy roles or comedy series things. So yeah, he's clearly got a darker side. Breastfeeding's fun, right? Breastfeeding.
Not after that movie.
Jeez. Oh my days.
That made breastfeeding horrifying for the rest of until I die. Like I never even want to even remotely think about it ever again after that.
No, and a serious question. I think this may be it might just be me, admittedly, but does anyone play a douchebag better than Justin Long?
No.
You just want to smack him in the face. I really like him. I really like all his work. I think he's really good. But he plays smarmy and douchey so well. You just want to punch him.
Yeah, he's usually sweet in the movie roles that he does. He's always
good
a
at both.
Guy. Yes.
He's good at both.
I don't even remember him in douchey movies. I don't remember
Dodgeball. Have you ever seen Dodgeball?
Oh, of course.
The innocent young teenager in the Dodgeball movie.
And I suppose you could argue he was Barry, wasn't he, in Jeepers Creepers as well?
He plays in Crossroads.
I don't know what that is.
Britney Spears.
That Britney Spears movie.
Yeah. That sounds horrifying.
Herbie
that sounds truly horrifying, Mel.
Like,
come on.
Come on, though. Like, Herbie, Fully Loaded. He plays in Waiting. He plays that kid in the movie.
He was in Waiting,
Still Waiting. Like,
he was in Waiting,
funny.
What's
then
that
you see him in there, and you're like,
he plays a douche so well. Like he's a real douchebag. Like he's been a naughty boy. He's like, I didn't do anything, and the whole time, like, yeah, you did. You know exactly what you did.
Well, you really know that he was a douchey, character. Right from the beginning, but like he cemented it towards the end when he pushes her off the water tower.
Yeah. Tells you everything you need to know. And like you say, you watch the trailer and you think, well, this is another Skarsgård vehicle. And it's far from it.
No.
Yeah. He's in it maybe 20 minutes.
25, I'd say.
Yeah. But forced breastfeeding is, something that once you've seen it, you can't unsee that.
Especially when it's that creature.
It's nightmare fuel, right? Like it is nightmare fuel. It really is.
Once you realize Keith is not the bad guy, that's where you go.
Yeah. Then you go, well, what happened? Yeah.
What's going on? It seems like it's just gonna start like, okay, this girl goes into this house with this guy. Oh, he's the bad guy. Now some bad stuff's gonna happen to her, and
I say, you're expecting an almost exploitation, like stalker flick, kind of, and then it goes off where it goes. And the thing is, that's great, and a lot of movies do that now. It seems to be I don't want to say a common way of working, but it does happen a lot. The key to it is going somewhere new that you just didn't see coming. Like it's fine. It's all well and good to flip you on your head, but a lot of movies flip you on your head and you go, well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But this,
it just kept going. It just kept going deeper because, like, okay, so when they first opened the hallway, when they first open the hallway, okay, there's like a torture room here. So maybe the previous owner of the house was, that's what you're thinking, right? But then she goes even further, and there's that other hidden door that goes down the staircase, and then you're like, holy shit, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Then after, you start realizing, okay, there's a creature down here that was, had this happen. Why is this person here and naked and treating everyone like it's their little baby? And then if they make noises and they don't want to be treated like a baby, she just kills them. What's happening? Then you have the flashback. And you kind of find out how she was created.
Yeah.
All right. And then his character gets even further into the maze and finds the guy that started all of this, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's sick, and then you see all the tapes of all of the women that he abused. And you're like, holy crap, how many layers does this have?
Yeah.
And then there's a point where you feel bad for the creature at the end.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
the craziest part.
That is the beauty of it. Beauty is a word I use quite often in horror because I do think it is a beautiful genre. By the end of it, you've gone on such a ride, and actually, at some point, the mother is painted with this huge stroke of vulnerability.
Yeah.
Because of how she became what she is, and it's mind blowing. It really is. I
guess we're gonna watch this.
So bad. Hope you guys have had dinner.
Got milk.
There you
Amazing. Go. Bear in mind as well, this is after we've seen Scar's skull be just smashed into smithereens.
Yeah, she's right.
She
was
right.
tough.
That's right, yeah.
You see her going down those stairs. She's going down that basement, and she's all like brave and like she's, her chest is.
She's
up.
a great final girl.
The
She's a
other
great
one
final
goes
girl.
down the
Very
basement,
modern
and
final
he's
girl.
all like, like, come on. She's the
That-
hero. She's the hero
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the story.
That first scene as well, so they go down into the original and you find the room with the bed and so on, and it goes deeper, doesn't it? And the way it's shot, you're going down that hallway. You're the one heading deeper into the maze. It pulls you along. It's so well done. Yeah, let's say starts off feeling like a stalker movie and then goes off in a very different way.
The only predictable thing that ever happened in that entire movie was when they were in the water tower and the homeless guy was like, "She hasn't gotten in here in 15 years," and I knew as soon as he said that.
Yeah. They might as well have put Samuel Jackson there with a shark. Like, that's how obvious it was. Right? That's how obvious it was. Ironically, for those who haven't seen it or should see it, Mr. Comley, that's a friend of mine. He's up late in his Father Christmas picture still. Evening, Sam. Literally, I left him about an hour ago, so he's clearly not gone to bed yet. So in terms of where you can watch this, if you haven't, again, I'd imagine it's Tubi and so on. I love this because Keith gets a huge kick out of this when I say this, but currently Barbarian is available on Amazon Prime here, not with ads, just part of Prime subscription, and still to this day, and released as a premiere, it's on Disney Plus.
That is crazy. Here we don't have it for free. YouTube,
I want to live in
Is it on
Apple. Nope.
I want to live in the UK just for that reason alone, man. Like,
honestly,
It's on Disney Plus. Yes.
Our Disney Plus is savage. Because we don't have
Disney
we don't
Plus,
have
Rachel.
we don't have AMC or we don't have Hulu. Yeah, we don't get Hulu here. So a lot of the stuff that you would Hulu, especially a lot of stuff that comes on Hulu, we get on Disney.
Goes on Disney.
Prey, the Predator prequel. that went straight to Disney Plus. The Menu, which I don't know if you've seen that with Ralph Fiennes, it's really good.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Fresh with Sebastian Stan. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I have not.
That's pretty chilling, to be fair. Disney Plus. So our Disney Plus gets quite a bit for that very reason, I guess. But yeah, it's Mother. Mother, the character Mother, is nightmare fuel.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, and I would say almost borderline a new icon is born. Depending on what happens next, of course. I mean, in doing all my research and everything else, I haven't seen anything to say that a sequel or a spin-off or anything is coming. But 50 million, definitely means a conversation's being had.
I don't think it would be a sequel, to be honest with you. I think it would be a prequel prior to that story because
yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's how they would have to play it off in order to bring her back. You know what I mean? So but it makes a lot of sense because look at all the destruction of that neighborhood. Like it went from being a really, really nice neighborhood to slowly but surely because all those houses are probably connected to that tunneling system. So one by one, Mother probably went and took out most of those. Like all the ones that were burnt out, what happened there?
Yeah. I mean, it's tailor-made for a prequel. It really is.
Mother.
Yeah, Mother.
That's the actor that played Mother, by the way.
That's Mother.
Yeah, a new icon was born. But you're right, it's tailor-made for a prequel. It makes perfect sense. An actor in this movie who doesn't get a lot of props is Richard Brake. I love Richard Brake. He's so good. He plays Frank in this. But if you watch, if you've seen any of his back catalogue in terms of Rob Zombie, he's in a lot of those. He was he was in Batman Begins. He was most famously the Night King in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yes.
He's a fantastic actor. He really is. He's very quirky. He's kind of, this is going to sound really mean, I don't mean to, but he's almost like an ugly William Dafoe, if you can imagine that. Because William Dafoe is very, what's the words I'm looking for? Unusual.
Yes.
He's almost like, it's like he could be a son. But, so in anything you see him in, he's normally improves it. I mean, with the exception of Halloween 2, because it wasn't savable. But, so, 31, for example. 31 is a very average movie from Rob Zombie.
Three from Hell.
But
Three from
he's in Three from Hell. Yeah,
a really good addition to that.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing in Three from Hell, actually.
Captain Spaulding passed, right? So we had him at least kind of bringing a bit of.
Yeah, they brought in the whole stepbrother no one ever heard of.
Yeah,
Foxy, I believe was his name, wasn't it? Foxwell. But Richard Brake's a great character actor, and he's been working forever, and it's predominantly horror. So if you see something, you see his name, you go, it's going to be at least one good performance in this. And that's not to say Barbarian isn't full of them, because it is. Everyone in that movie is fantastic. The leading girl is a brilliant final girl. We're getting quite a rush of new final girls of late. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Like, which is not a bad thing. Skarsgård is becoming quite a credible actor. Not that he wasn't, but you look at his back catalogue now, and he's starting to.
Since we're going to talk about Bill, I got to ask the question: have you all seen the trailer for The Crow?
Yeah, it's a no from me. It's one of those where it looks okay, but just call it something else. And don't cast him. Sorry, guys, I'm going to go off on a tangent now because we love The Crow. Don't cast him as Eric Draven. It could be anybody. The Crow could be anybody. That's
what I was hoping. I was hoping that they would bring him back as Eric.
Yeah, but if cast him as Eric Draven.
I know. I'm not going to reserve my point of view, though. This is what I've been saying to people: is like, look, everyone said Heath Ledger was going to be the worst Joker in the world, and look what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got to give Bill the benefit, because when they cast Bill as Pennywise, they said it was going to be a terrible movie, and he did a really damn good job as Pennywise.
Part one was outstanding. Yeah.
Was outstanding, and everyone thought he was going to be a laugh. That nobody could touch Tim Curry, or that he was just the wrong person to be playing this role. Yeah. So I will say this: I don't know if you've all ever read any of the comics or graphic novels of The Crow.
Yeah, a few.
It feels feels more like the comic than the original film does.
Yeah,
I
I think that's probably right. The only thing I'd say as well is, I think with remakes in general, a lot of it comes down to the bond you have with the original. So, prime example for this is the two worst remakes ever made, in my opinion, by far, are Nightmare on Elm Street. Obviously, I'm obsessed with Nightmare on Elm Street, self-confessed addict, expert, etc., etc. It could have been great. I was going to hate it. It's just it's ingrained in me. And the other one that really, really just took a thump on my childhood was RoboCop. It was so bad. It was so bad.
That right there. If you get a true fan of the source material, remake, most times it's going to be good. Jon Favreau, for example, when he did The Mandalorian, he was a true fan of the Star Wars universe. Ergo, The Mandalorian turned out as well as it did because of that.
I think a lot of it, and ironically, Sam and I were just chatting about this earlier. I think it comes down to when they remake the movies, a lot of it is, do we commit to the project as it is and do it in its purest, or do we want to get as many eyes on it as possible? Because if it's just a question of getting eyes on it, make it PG-13. There's a very healthy, financially solid market for PG-13 horror. I mean, I've just done the Insidious movies. You know how much money those movies make? Yeah. It's obscene. They're all well over 150 million, and they're made on peanuts.
I agree with that.
Christmas Day was it's true.
I agree with that one.
So it's if you're true to it, like the Hills Have Eyes remake is outstanding.
Yeah,
the original's a classic, but it was very cheap, dated.
It was dry.
And Aja took it to whole new levels, and it's really good. I like the 2013 Evil Dead. I'm a big fan. Yep. It's not a remake as such, but I'm a big fan. But then you get the Platinum Dunes has got a lot to be held accountable for, I think it's safe to say. I'll probably go opening weekend to The Crow, if I'm honest. It may even get a reaction review on the day, which I've never done actually, but you never know. But I don't have if you go in with the lowest of expectations, it's one of those. But it certainly looks bloody enough.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I will say,
stupid example, look at Mean Girls. I mean, because of my age, and I am a girl, I grew up on Mean Girls, and then they came in with this one, and I tried to go in, my kid was like, go in with, like, if you had never seen it before, But even her, she went to see it. She came back and she was like, no, because it's Mean Girls. I grew up with that stuff.
If you have a connection to something, you can't do it.
It was good for what it was, but it wasn't Mean Girls. Sure. They should have called it something else. Yeah,
and that's the issue a lot of times. I have no issue. I know a lot of people that have massive issues with the Ryan Reynolds Amityville. It's not brilliant. It's very much by the numbers, but it's all right. What people forget is the original is boring.
Yeah.
With the greatest of respect. By today's standards, I know people were terrified at the time. I mean, Amityville 2 is a much better, much more disturbing movie, made for a lot less. There's stuff, I mean, like I say, if you can get a fanboy or a fangirl behind the camera and they're committed to the art, you look at the Hellboy movies. I haven't seen the later one, just on principle, because Ron Perlman wasn't in it. But the Ron Perlman ones...
The writing was bad. The movie wasn't great, but David's portrayal of Hellboy was actually really good.
Okay. The thing is with it, did we need a new Hellboy this soon? Like, we didn't, No. Do you remember when we had two versions of Cabin Fever about 5 years apart? And the second one was horrendous. And it was like, Eli Roth's True Vision. No. It was awful. Anyway, so yes, Barbarian. Go see it. It was one of the best movies of 2022.
It's fantastic.
It will push you. It will push your limits to a degree. I think there are certain scenes in it that are right up there with the best in terms of horror. Perlman's a god. We're self-confessed Sons of Anarchy addicts in this house, so Perlman's a god.
We are too. SOA is one of my favorite shows of all time.
I think it's the greatest show of all time. I generally do.
And Ryan Hurst is my favorite character in the entire show too. Like I love Opie. Opie was the man.
My wife still cries to this day. Like we've
watched
it how many times.
I can't watch it.
Pulls her eyes out. Yeah, we rewatch it.
I can't watch it. I have to turn away because it just hurts my soul so much from that scene.
See,
so much.
Because I tend to try and be emotionless at all times. It's easier than you think. The worst thing for me is when he bites his tongue off. When I can't remember the guy's name. Kurt Strutter, the guy also wrote and made it.
Yeah, who wrote it? Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote it. Yeah. And he bites his own tongue off, doesn't he, rather than rap. But that fed me into The Shield, because he wrote a lot of The Shield, and I hadn't seen The Shield previously. Outstanding. We digress. Barbarian, go watch it. We've spoiled it massively, but you'll still have a fun time. Next up, the phenom, the mega hit, my second favorite movie of last year, and the one Mel hasn't seen.
I forgot to watch it. I was like, okay, we got this one, and then today I was like, I know there was another one.
Yeah.
I will watch it tonight, actually, so at least I will watch it.
It's very, very, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, talk to me.
All right, hold on. I'm slacking here, guys. Slacking. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me in, Mark.
Let me in, Keith. Let me in.
Have you seen the group chat? You're doing it again tonight? No. Please. It's my mom's Remembrance Day. I just want to forget about it.
Who's up?
I'll do it.
Cannot go for more than 90 seconds. Am I clear?
What happens after 90 seconds?
Don't want to stay. Light the candle to open the door. Blow it out to close it. Put your hand on it. Now say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
What did the hand feel like?
It felt amazing. I could see and feel everything on the other side. So my mom, she was trying to reach out. I'm here. Still been seeing stuff.
You've been saying stuff.
What if we opened the door but we didn't shut it? Oh my god, they followed us!
I like it.
They're not gonna stop. They're never gonna stop! They like you. Talk to me.
Mel, you're gonna love that, aren't you?
I'm pretty sure I like these types of movie. I like.
It's really good. It's really good.
Possession and.
No, I mean it's not original, but it definitely takes a new twist on this type of genre, which is what I liked about it. That's honestly what I liked about it.
It was very much like it was 2023 Smile. Smile was really good. Smile made a lot of money. Smile didn't do anything we haven't seen before, but he did it well with passion. Talk to Me is exactly the same. Talk to Me is nothing we haven't seen 100 times over, but it's done with passion, it's done with care, it's done with pride. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned horror movie around a haunting or a stalker or a slasher or whatever. Yeah, a possession. There's nothing. You just got to do it right. You know, it's this. You know, it's like a meal, isn't it? A meal can be really, really basic, but as long as you use the ingredients correctly,
As long
fantastic.
as it's not copy, like, you know what I
No.
mean? Like, as long as it has his own life, his own essence. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. No, it really
familiarity
isn't.
is, you know, so.
It really isn't anything you haven't seen before. I'd be amazed, if that isn't the case. But it's just done so well. It's done so well. Directed by a pair of twin brothers, making their directorial, put my teeth back in, directorial debut, which was Danny and Michael Philippou. I'm sure I got that wrong as well, with my dodgy English twang. It's just so good. It was made for, let me see. It was made for 4 million, and it brought back 92.5.
That's a pretty successful horror.
Yeah,
film
it's
there.
done well. It's done well. It did really well. Sequels and prequels already in production.
See, I actually agree with her statement here, because I've started noticing this. The desensitization of this generation is coming, and
for sure.
My kids, like Scarlett, who's about to be coming on here when we talk about Poltergeist, she's 8 years old, and she's watched every episode of The Walking Dead, which is gory as all get out, and she loves that show. She loves Poltergeist. We just went through all the Conjuring films. Well, not the spinoffs, but the original. Not the original, but the three, right?
Yes,
so
me too.
We've done that, and she loves those movies. Like, she can't get enough of this. She's my little horror princess, and I love it. It's fantastic. So I have a lot of fun being able to watch. And I try to find ones that are, good. Like, Talk to Me is actually, I think Talk to Me is actually not a bad one either, because there's not really any nudity or anything like that in that film. So
there's one scene. There's one
Yep.
scene that is I would say is particularly uncomfortable, and
Right.
it's the beating of Riley.
She can
the young
handle,
kid.
but
That's probably the hardest scene, isn't it?
Yeah, she can handle it, because again, she's watched
exactly.
Walking Dead. She watched Glenn get his head bashed in.
Yeah,
by
that's
Negan,
probably the hardest scene in the movie. Like, if that's not going to cause any issues, then you're fine. Because that's probably the hardest.
I'll have to show
goes
her
the
that.
hardest. Yeah,
She loves it.
My dream job would be to work for A24 as well, just because I get to meet Ty West pretty much all the
Never
time.
mind. My wife said no.
Yeah, it's so well done. Sophie Wade, who plays the main girl, is incredible. The supporting cast are all really good. Obviously, it's an Australian movie. As we said, it's nothing you haven't seen before. It's jump scares. It's possession. It's run of the mill to a degree, but it's so well done.
Right.
It's so well done. It everything about it is superb. It has its issues, I'll openly admit. I saw the ending coming a mile away.
It was predictable.
Yeah, there was a few continuity errors here and there, and I'd pin the ending after about an hour. It was incredibly obvious. Didn't deter my enjoyment of it. Don't get me wrong. I still loved it. I still thought, second favorite movie of last year.
I knew at some point her mother was going to make an appearance before that even happened, just because of how much they played that up in the beginning.
And again, no, don't let my little brother use the hand. No, he's not using it. Of course, he's using it like within about 30 seconds later, and you know exactly what's coming. There are no surprises as such. The fact that it still sucks you in and is so good when you know that there's no surprises coming, really, is testament to it. I mean, and again, $92 million is a lot of change.
I love the visual effects of the like the ghosts and stuff that popped up when she touched the hands, or when people were touching the hands and they would actually show what they were looking at. I thought that was like, everything looked great. Like, I don't think they used any CG. I think that was all practical makeup effects. No. It didn't seem like it was...
I mean, $4 million isn't a lot of money these days, and they stretched every cent out of it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And it's quirky, isn't it? Like, the embalmed hand is a quirky, it's just something different. Yeah. So, you hold the embalmed hand and say, talk to me. And, from there you're away. I really enjoy it. I think it's a really good time. As I say, second favorite movie, only behind, what was my favorite movie last year? When Evil Lurks. was my favorite movie last year, and that was soul destroying. That's the movie that I said to you guys after watching. I had to gargle holy water to find my safe place. So When Evil Lurks was my favorite movie of last year, and that wasn't a cinematic release or even a hit as such, but Talk to Me was the complete other end of the scale, where it became mainstream horror because of the success. It's very, very good. It'd be interesting to see what you think of it, Mel, once you've watched it. I think you'll dig it, to be fair. I really do. Yeah. It's really well done.
I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like I say, it's got a few. Even if we hadn't talked about it tonight, you'd see the ending coming a mile away. I'm sure you would.
And if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you've got Eowyn playing a character in this movie.
Every show with you, and every show somehow you have to get Lord of the Rings in.
That's one of my favorite franchises.
Cram it in every time. Yeah, no, it's a good time. I don't know.
I had looked at stuff though for today, like before we came on for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know where the inspiration, like where the hand comes in that movie?
I don't actually. I didn't have a chance to sort of look into it too deeply.
The filmmaker's past Danny. Danny Philippou, I think his last name is.
Yeah.
He was in a car accident and he split his face open, and they thought he had a broken spine, and he was kind of in a state of shock. And he said that a loved one gave him his hand. Oh my God! There's
that hand above you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. You could not have timed that better. That's amazing.
Perfect. That was perfect. He said that his sister held his hand, and he stopped shaking, and he just started feeling better. So, the love of a loving hand.
Grabbing a phone charger from behind you.
There it is. See. But yeah, I will.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Watch that movie for sure. We will watch it.
Yeah, give it a go. I think you'll.
I thought it looked interesting. I just completely forgot.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one. Like I say,
what's you guys' favorite scene?
The beating of Riley is my favorite scene because it's just the savagery of it, and the people involved are realizing how badly they left up by allowing this kid to do what they've done. I also. Yeah, that's a good scene. The other one, this isn't anything. But the purgatory stuff's good, and just purely from a comedy point of view, the feet sucking scene is hilarious.
Oh God!
Like, there's no need for it at all, but it's hilarious. It's uncalled for completely, but it just made me laugh. Yeah, but the purgatory stuff's cool. Like I say, it's nothing you haven't seen before, but it's done really well. So yeah, check it out for sure. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 at the time. So it just came shy of.
I was close. Again, Barbarian out of this group was my favorite. So, I mean, I Talk to Me was like a 4 out of 5 for me. It was close. It was up there. Again, my wife was like, "Oh, it's too predictable. I didn't like it." And I was like, "It was predictable, but it was still a fresh take."
Yeah, as I say, there's nothing wrong with doing something you've seen before as long as it's done well. Yeah. Good, all good stuff. I guess it's podcast time, huh?
Let's get our special guest in here.
Yeah.
If we're gonna be doing Poltergeist,
we got music.
Give me one moment.
Introduction music.
But yes, we're bringing the classic movie right now. We try to bring a classic movie every time we do this, and. This month we decided on Poltergeist.
Yeah, we've got a few movies here that are possession or haunting related, so we thought it made sense.
So, say hello to everybody and look at the camera.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
You don't have to get that close to it, baby.
All right, we're gonna watch the trailer and then we're gonna talk about the movie, okay? All right. So when was this movie made, Mark? Give us a little
1982.
introduction while I get
1982. Yeah, 1982. Written by Steven Spielberg, directed by Stephen, no. Toby, no. I don't know at this point. No one seems to know for sure who directed this movie. Certain actors and actresses will say that they were directed solely by Spielberg. Other people say that Toby Hooper did it. I don't know. Based on Toby Hooper's filmography, I'd be inclined to say that Spielberg probably directed it. I'm honest.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's go.
The house looks just like the one next to it. And the one next to that. And the one next to that. A young couple live in it.
Give Ken a kiss.
You are so obnoxious.
With their 3 children.
Honey, chewy fried 10 times.
And something more.
They're here.
Sweetie, remember last night? Do you remember when you woke up and you said you were here?
Uh-huh.
Well, who did you meet? Who's here?
TV people.
Something's funny going on here next door. Something,
We were wondering if maybe you had experienced any disturbances lately.
What kind of disturbances?
I don't know what hovers over this house. I've never sensed anything like it.
That thing is in there with my baby!
They're hundreds.
Now Steven Spielberg crosses a frightening new threshold into a world within our own. Its form is revealed.
What is it?
Its focus is clear. And the games are over. Poltergeist. It knows what scares you.
Here we go.
So good. So good.
It did know what scared me. When I was about her age, too. Like, she's brave. She's
I know,
watching
right?
this and she has no issue. And I was there at 8 years old watching this movie like, oh no, I'm gonna, my mirror, my TV, I'm gonna get sucked into the closet. Oh my God.
It's a whole new world now, Mel.
She's laughing.
They find this
I
stuff
know.
funny now. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
I saw The Exorcist at 10. The Exorcist was my gateway drug, so I went in hard. when I
That was
10.
mine. Poltergeist
Yeah.
was my gateway drug. Oh.
Poltergeist is it's a classic, isn't it? Let's be fair. There isn't a bad word to be said about it. Made for like $10 million, which in 1982 was $10 million. You know.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
Yeah. It brought back in globally $121 million. Again, in 1982, I was 6.
I was
120.
born that year.
Yeah, all right.
I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah. All right, yeah, fine, I get it. I'm old. I'm older than dirt, I understand.
What did you think,
So-
Scarlett?
I think that.
You can talk normal. You can talk
Oh. So I think that it was not scary for me at all. Not at all. No.
I'm not surprised. Like, you were talking about desensitization and so on, and the effects are dated, I guess is probably the nicest way to put it. There's not a single death in this movie.
No.
Not one. No. There's only one quote-unquote gory scene, and that involves a mirror and a really, really bad prosthetic. But apart from that, it's true, isn't it? Apart from that, it's all, blink of an eye and what you might not see. Scared
But,
me.
I mean, the effects probably help that it's not scary. Because even today, like, if I'd be her age watching it, I'd be like, what is this?
I mean,
you know?
Yeah, it's a generational thing, though, isn't it? Because in 1982, that would have scared the bejesus out of you.
Oh yeah.
You know, it would have, no question. I mean, originally it was given a R rating. Upon appeal, it was given a PG. So, you know, that's a hell of a swing. Yes, the skeletons and the mud. It's so blooming good. It's just so, the cast is incredible. I mean, Craig T. Nelson and JoBeth Williams are like, you believe they're a couple. You know, you believe they've got their problems. You believe that they've got family commitments. You believe they're in love. You believe every aspect of their relationship. The kids are great. Obviously, Heather O'Rourke goes without saying, but even like Dominique Dunn's very good in it. Oliver Robbins, I believe.
It was very story driven. You can tell someone like Spielberg wrote it. You know what I mean? It was very story driven. And I think that's what made it so good, is that everything was fleshed out in that movie. Mm-hmm. All the characters, the storyline, where it was going, like everything was just written well.
I think as well the money helps. Not that it wasn't well written and well made and everything, but if you think about the 80s and 80s slashers and 80s horror movies in general, they were made for next to nothing and made a fortune. This made a fortune, but it was made for a fortune.
Yes.
You know, Craig T. Nelson was a big hitter back then. You know, to pull him in, it was a big deal. Yeah, you look at, you know, your Friday the 13th and your Halloweens and Nightmare on Elm Street. They were made for peanuts, and they went on to make a fortune. If someone shelled out 10 million off the bat, I don't know what would have been his movie before this. Maybe Jewel. Not sure. I have to look that up, to be honest.
Who's your favorite character, Scarlett?
Carol Ann.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Really, to be fair.
I still had to ask the question, Mark.
Of course. I mean, imagine if she was like, the estate agent guy.
I don't know. I like Zelda.
Zelda's cool. Yeah.
I mean, that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, the medium Zelda. Yeah, she was cool. Yeah.
Apparently, she was quite the ladies' man off set. She was beating him off with a stick.
Really?
Apparently so. Yeah, I'm doing my research. Yes.
So what's kind of your favorite scene in this film? I'm going to let you talk a little bit more, and then we're going to have you go. So what's your favorite scene in this film? Like what was the thing that? Yeah, I know you said it wasn't scary, but what was kind of the scariest thing that you think was in this movie for you?
Well, the skeletons in the mud, because when the mom was in it, when she was in it, the skeletons appeared. She was scared and stuff. So.
And that scared you because the mom was scared? Yeah.
Just a little.
Did the TV scene where she gets kind of sucked into the TV? Did that kind of freak you out a little bit?
A little bit, but not that much.
What about the tree with
the climb?
The tree.
He was getting sucked inside the tree.
No,
that didn't scare you.
No, not at all.
I don't know, you're tougher than I am, because when I was a kid, that one scared me.
Yeah, it's just, you can't speak highly of it. Kane was one of two characters that literally terrified me as a child. One was Reverend Kane, and the other one was the sister in Pet Sematary, Zelda. From the original Pet Sematary. Oh my god, like that was terrifying. But yeah, just in terms of the skeletons, obviously there's a lot of history behind that, and the fact that they were real skeletons. And JoBeth Williams was unaware and was appalled. Obviously, I get she was appalled, and I get that they should have told her, but it's actually quite common practice. It happens a lot back then, and even to this day, it happens occasionally. Mainly because you can get skeletons from India incredibly cheap. So although it was outrage, and it was this, that, and everything, the main outrage is the fact that she wasn't made aware, because it was almost to a degree common practice.
Yeah.
Because such was the population in India that you could get a batch of skeletons. How awful is that to say out loud? But that's the reality of the situation. You could. So, the big issue was obviously that she wasn't aware. And of course, there's the curse, the infamous curse of Poltergeist. If you guys have Shudder or AMC, I think it might be for you guys, or if you use it, there's a brilliant documentary on cursed films on there, and the second one on, I think, is Poltergeist. It predominantly talks about Poltergeist 3 for obvious reasons, but it does touch on Poltergeist 1 and a little bit on 2 as well. And it's just sad. It's just sad, really. But yeah, a lot of controversy, who made it, how it was made, skeletons, the ratings, and, the real life curse of Poltergeist.
I know, right? The real life curse of Poltergeist is
Yeah, it's horrific, really. I mean, I don't buy into that sort of stuff easily, and I don't tend to buy into it as it a curse as such. But no matter how you look at it, it's just sad. I mean, Poltergeist 3 is an awful watch. It's you're literally watching her die to a degree. And on top of that, it's a terrible movie, which doesn't help. The second one's decent. The second half of the second one's terrible because it's called The Other Side, and when they take you to the other side in really poor CGI effects, it's just bad. But Reverend Kane is terrifying.
He is.
He is terrifying for sure. He's scarier than anything in this first movie. Irony of the funniest thing is, it took 4 years for a sequel. You would think with that amount of money made, and the 80s being what they were, that you would have seen that sequel a year, 18 months later.
Well, I mean,
no.
With the money they put into it, it's one thing to, it's one thing to make the movie, to get all that money back, but you gotta have that money to invest, pay your cast,
for sure.
And I mean, Reverend Kane, anybody that's seen Poltergeist, if they see just a still picture of that man, you know exactly where he comes from, and you know not to get close to him.
Yeah. He is terrifying. I think also as well, you're looking at, it's so common now that people sign multi-film deals.
Yeah.
Really wasn't the case back then. So whatever they paid Joe Beth Williams and Craig T. Nelson, who are already names, they definitely got paid a hell of a lot more for the sequels. The sequel, I should say, because they're not in the third one. And negotiations and so on and so forth. So it's not like now where you sign up for 10 Marvel movies and you get paid in increment amounts each time, and so on. So I can see the reasons behind the 4 years. It just surprises me. Poltergeist 3 came 2 years after that.
So, while we have Scarlett here, Scarlett, give us a movie. What movie should we watch? What's
for next month, Scarlett? Give us one for next month to review.
Trying to think.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Conjuring.
Conjuring.
We can do The Conjuring.
We can do that.
First one, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, we can do The Conjuring. Cool.
Sounds good to me.
We'll get a list together for next month. We have
Is there any other thing you want to say about Poltergeist before I take the headset back from you?
What is y'all's favorite parts of the movie Poltergeist?
The scariness of how they all get sucked into that's just the chaos in that whole scene is my favorite from the movie. And when she sticks her hands on the TV and says, "They're here." Because then we get they're back.
Yeah. I enjoy the it's not scary at all, but I find the scene where she launches him down the kitchen in the baseball with the baseball bat and the crash helmet on, the American football helmet. She's like, "Look, watch," and they're using the spirits to launch him down the kitchen. Hilarious. And then after that, the horror thing in me loves the bit when the guy's ripping his face apart. When he's in the bathroom and he's ripping his... And it looks awful by today's standards. It really does. But that's part of the charm. It's part and parcel of it.
1982.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. It's, the face peeling scene. It's all part and parcel of the charm of the movie. Like you say, 1982. It's a long time ago. But a classic. An absolute classic. And I didn't even look up where it's available. Everyone should have seen it, and it's available. It's probably on YouTube at this point. It's probably in the public domain, but you'd be able to find it most places. There was a remake in 2013, I believe. Yes, it was 2013. No, I kind of wanted to like it because I like Sam Rockwell, but it was poor.
Nowhere for free. If you want to see
Is it not? Is it
gotta
really?
pay. Yeah.
Wow. I bet it's on Disney here.
Probably.
The latest on this is there is a TV show coming next year.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Join
Come
us
back,
again.
Scarlett. Yes.
Definitely.
Okay.
100%. There was talk of another remake. Last year, 2023. That is now, as a lot of things have gone into TV show format, because that seems to be the thing now, doesn't it? I'm not averse to a TV show. I think it could be quite good.
I'd
The Exorcist
like to see
TV
that.
show was decent. I mean, it cancelled after 2 seasons, but the Exorcist TV show was good. You know,
It could work, considering.
it could work. Yeah, it could work. I'd rather see a TV show with decent money put into it and some care and thought than, another 2013 entry.
Yeah, that was
Didn't work,
garbage.
did it?
I didn't like that one. I didn't like the remake at all.
No, it's like we were saying earlier. I think if you've got an emotional tie to the original, even if it's good, it's not. But I mean, in this instance, it wasn't good. It was
Right. It's even harder when it's bad.
Yeah, you have to think that Sam Rockwell signed up, and then he was sold something that wasn't the case, because he's a very credible, very talented actor. But I don't know. We've all got to pay to keep the lights on, I guess. And if he's not working, and someone says, "Here's a couple of million to do this," who are we to say?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even look it up. I'll openly admit I have no idea how the remake did in terms of financially. You tend to find with these remakes they do really well financially because they're opening up a new audience and they're PG-13, but critically and wise they get hammered. I mean, it's just how it is. Yeah, fantastic. Again, PG rated, crazy. Would it be a PG now? Yeah, it probably would. By today's standards, it'd probably be a PG.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, though, isn't it? How the generations are different. Like, if you showed Scarlett like Nightmare on Elm Street now, she'd probably laugh her head off.
Probably.
But that dude still scares me now. I still have Freddy dreams to this day.
Yep.
I didn't terrify me like I used to when I was a kid, but
we weren't
still
exposed to all that violence.
No.
We weren't
No, it's true.
exposed to
No, it's
everything
true.
they're exposed to today.
Mhm.
I mean, Poltergeist stopped me from sleeping.
Yeah. I went down.
My mom had to take my TV out of my bedroom. My mom had to cover the mirror when I went to bed at night.
Yeah.
I still don't like closets. I mean,
You can't
I
underestimate the
have
impacts of
issues
Poltergeist.
because of horror movies.
Yeah, The Exorcist.
We're all stable, right? Yeah.
I shared The Exorcist with her after we watched Poltergeist with Scarlett, thinking that one would scare the pants off of her. It didn't even phase her, and I'm sitting here going, I'm like, the bed scene where she's flopping, and then when the head turns around, like when I was a kid, though, like at 6 years old, that freaked me out.
The worst scene in The Exorcist, obviously the end. This is blasphemous, no pun intended, but The Exorcist is almost boring to a point.
Yeah.
Because the last 20 minutes is all you want. The build up to the last 20 minutes at times is almost boring. The worst scene in that movie as an adult is the scene where they give her the spine injection.
Well,
Because
The
that
Exorcist
just looks so bad. That looks awful.
to some people is, you know what I mean? Like, my aunt will still have a huge reaction just for hearing the beginning music. And
Yeah, Tubular Bells.
turn
Yeah.
that shit off, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, whoa, it's just the music, it's Halloween. What are,
Yeah.
She can't, because it depends on your level of belief.
Yeah, of course.
What you believe.
Well, that's
in.
where it hit home because, all horror fans have seen The Exorcist because, of course, they have. But because of the content, a lot of non-horror fans, who have very strong religious beliefs, have also seen it.
Yep.
And it hits everyone in different ways. Like I said, it was my first movie, and I was 10.
Wow.
But I didn't fully sort of jump in, as it were, until A Nightmare on Elm Street. That was when I was like, I want more. You know, The Exorcist didn't deter me. It was just like, it was quite good. You know, at the time the head spinning thing was, you know, terrifying. Now it just looks funny.
Yeah.
Poltergeist scared the living daylights out of me, but it gave me that. I want to feel more of that. Like I'm an adrenaline rush. I want to feel the scare. Yeah, I might not sleep good for a few nights, but small price to pay. Yeah.
Exactly. The movie that she suggested that we do for next month, The Conjuring, like I think that's like kind of the newer age Poltergeist. That's the one that actually does scare you a little bit more than what Poltergeist does.
The first one's really, really good.
Yeah,
I don't actually mind any of them. I'll openly admit I haven't got a problem with any of them. I don't have an issue with mainstream horror. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But the first one's actually very good. It's been a while now. The second one is the one that's based over here, isn't it? The Enfield Hall, I'm saying. I think.
Yeah.
And that's okay. The last one was meh, but the first one's really good. So that'll be a pleasure to do. I've not reviewed it either, actually, saying that, so I might even tie the two together. We have to do April Fool's Day next month as our classic. We have to. It's April. Come on.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't know. Maybe Saltburn, if it's considered horror. I'm not sure it's horror. It's certainly freaky, but I'm not sure it's horror.
We'll find some movies.
Yeah, we'll sort out.
If you guys have anything, whoever's watching, if you guys have any movies that you would like for us to sit down and talk about, I mean, just let us know. And
give us those recommendations.
Yeah. Hey, you're even welcome to come join us if you want to, you know.
Absolutely. Like Scarlett tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Scarlett.
Yeah, come join us.
Our first guest.
She was begging me. She was begging me. She was like, I've seen this movie. I want to be on the podcast.
Anytime she wants to come on the podcast. She is
exactly, yeah, we love it. So are we safely saying that in terms of the movies this month, we've probably ranked them in ascending order? I know, Keith, you feel a bit stronger about Barbarian and Talk to Me. I think that's like apples and oranges to a degree, isn't it? You know, it's like Nightmare on Elm Street and Dream Warriors. Depending on how I feel each day, one's better than the other.
Right.
So it changes quite often. Would I be in a rush to watch Ghostland again? Probably not. Only because it's having time more than anything else. But I make time to Talk to Me and Barbara. Yeah, it is.
It's a good watch, but it's not something that I would necessarily, go back and run to watch. But if somebody asks me, is it worth watching? At least once. At least.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%. As I say, it's almost like a gateway drug into the more sort of extreme stuff.
I would tell parents that you can, if you're not too opposed with violence, obviously, it's something that I would let my kids watch.
Yeah. I think it would be, from a kid's point of view, I think it would be less damaging than a Talk to Me, for example.
Yes.
I could see a Talk to Me, funding a lot of sleepless nights and crying and leave the light on type conversations, as opposed to Ghostland, which I don't think would be the case. And Barbarian
is the whole stranger danger thing again, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And if I were to rank, because I guess we're gonna have kind of our own little ranking here, right? So
yeah, definitely.
If I were to rank in order of like which is my favorite to which is my least favorite, Barbarian's gonna be number 1 for me. Poltergeist is actually gonna be number 2 for me, and then Talk to Me, and then Ghostland. Is actually how I would rank them personally. I know it's probably going to be kind of the reverse for Marc, I would think, right? You'd have Talk to Me.
No, Poltergeist tops the tree. I mean, it's seminal, it has to. And then Talk to Me, then Barbarian, and then Ghostland.
See, I didn't see.
But again, you could flip Talk to Me and Barbarian at any point in that respect. But I mean, Poltergeist sits top of the tree. I mean, it kind of has to.
Yeah. I don't know. Barbarian was just different for me. And as much as I like Poltergeist, I just like that one. Like that one I've rewatched multiple times now, and each time I find something new and I get really good rewatch. I've watched Poltergeist a few times, and I know that story.
I rewatched every movie. I watched all the 4 movies. I rewatched all of them twice this week. you've seen Poltergeist a million times, so I could have done it with my eyes closed as a reality. And Ghostland was the one that the second watch so quick after the first was, I'm not going to say it was a chore, but it wasn't as much fun as Barbarian, it's all to me.
Yeah,
just
I
big
agree.
fans of those movies. Like I said, I just think I love really well made horror movies. You know, they don't have to change massively. They don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's one of those. So yeah, a really good batch, I think. A really good batch of movies. Hopefully you guys listening, watching on replay or live, whatever the case may be, if you haven't seen these, it makes you think I'll go and give them a couple of hours of my time. It's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. We have spoiled these movies massively, but that just means you should watch them. Babadook.
The Babadook. Okay.
The blooming kid in the Babadook. Oh, kid in the Babadook. The kid's the worst thing in it, like by a mile. Worse than any of it. Like it's a great movie, it is, of course, but the kid is so annoying. Thanks, Sam. We'll take it into consideration. Who let you into this chat? I jest. Yeah, we could do that. I don't mind the Babadook. Anyone seen anything good or anything else going on at the moment? Anything going on? Obviously, I've just finished the Insidious movies, and I'm going to be going to the bit more of the extreme stuff going forward. I recently watched Cobweb. I don't know if you guys have seen Cobweb.
I have not seen that one. I do. But what's it about?
So it's about a young boy and his very unusual mother and father who tend to keep him away from other kids and stuff and so on. And he has an extremely active imagination, and he starts to hear and see things around the house that aren't quite right. I can't really say more without spoiling it because it's a glaring of where it goes. It's got Anthony Starr in it, who is Homelander. He's the dad, and he is scary as hell because he's so intense. Anyway, I mean, Homelander, by his own standards, is terrifying. So, I hadn't seen it. I picked it up for like £5 on Blu-ray. Literally, it was like, I need to spend an extra £5 on Amazon to get free Blu-ray. That'll do.
Gotcha.
Decent. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So that was watched this week on top of everything else that we do, and the Insidious movies. Oh, the Red Door was so bad. Have you seen the last one, the latest one, the Red Door? It's so bad. Like, there's no need for it. Just it. I think my review was like, it exists. It's there. It adds nothing. It's so poor. But hey, they get requested, so I'll do them. That's how it works.
For me, it was no horror movie, but actually a documentary about Ervil LeBaron. It's called Daughters of the Cult.
Oh, okay.
Polygamy. He was, I think, 32 murders that he was responsible for. They called him like the Mormon Manson.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I've been watching.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
The third episode now of the docu. So.
See, I've been doing a couple of things. I don't know. I've been going back to my childhood a little bit. I don't know why I've been regressing. Maybe it's because I've got the surgery coming up next month, but I've been regressing a little bit, and I've been putting on like all of the 1997. Like I'm in 1999 now, but I've been watching all of the old WWF stuff from 19 like the beginning of the Attitude Era going through.
Yeah.
I'm in the year 1999, and this is when like The Rock is becoming huge, and that feud with Triple H and the whole thing with Stephanie McMahon is about to happen and stuff like that. So like I'm rewatching that. And then because that keeps me engaged so much that I can't fall asleep if I watch that, to fall asleep to, I've been rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was my show when I was a kid.
Yeah, same. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we've watched of late that is... I mean, I often say I watch this stuff so you guys don't have to. I watched Hellraiser Bloodline this week. I don't recommend it. It's, and Hellraiser Judgment. Watch this week as well, the latest one. As VOD goes, it's probably the best of the bunch, but still, no one needs to see that movie.
Which is the one that has Henry Cavill? Hellworld, right? Is that one
Terrible.
Hellworld?
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm a firm. Most people believe that sequels get worse in like ascending order, and it's not the case. Some are better than others, and you just never know. Hellraiser is a prime example. We talk about Hellraiser every show I've noticed.
It's the first two. The first two are good.
So the first two are great.
He's his Lord of the Rings. You're Hellraiser.
Yeah, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
But Clive Barker is my favorite horror stuff. Like, I love Nightbreed. I love Hellraiser. I like the new one, the newest one that came out on Hulu with the female Hellraiser. I did enjoy that. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but I did enjoy that in comparison to all of the other sequels.
It's probably the 4th or 5th best movie in the series.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I can't pin my flag to Barker mainly because of Rawhead Rex. Rawhead Rex is so bad. So bad. Nightbreed's great. I love Nightbreed. Lord of Illusion has a little place in my heart. It's not a brilliant movie, but it's fun.
No. Nightbreed and the original two Hellraisers are probably my favorite that he's done, but it's just the worlds that he creates that makes me I get completely engrossed in what he's doing visually and from his story standpoint, which is why I'm so happy they're doing their like pre-production trying to do this Nightbreed TV show and flesh out all of those characters. I really want this. Like, that's one thing that
in this day and age with the money going in this day and age with the money going into TV shows and with the whole binge watch environment that we now have, Nightbreed is tailor-made as a TV show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. It really is. I think.
And they announced they did announce a 13 Ghosts TV show.
See, I'm very much in the minority because I hated that movie.
I think it's going to be great because you're now going to flesh out the ghosts.
Blah, Marc, blah.
I need to. I'd have to rewatch it, but all I remember is Matthew Willard being really annoying for an hour and a half.
He wasn't in it that much. Like it followed the father-daughter character way more than it followed him.
Yeah,
Am I right in thinking the father was Monk?
Yeah, but when he's there, Monk, he's like there. You know what I mean?
Shalhoub.
That actor is loud. He's,
Matthew Willard,
yes. So when he's there, he's there. But if they're doing the show as like every episode, like on the Ghost or something,
it'll be amazing.
It could work, yeah. 13 episodes.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a go. It's very, very little.
Rewatch it. It's not terrible. Yes, his character was the most annoying thing in the movie. I will admit that. Yeah. I also have a small place in my heart for Matthew Lillard from Scream and Scooby Doo and all. Yes. And Hackers. Good Lord, I love
Hackers. Hackers is a great movie.
I love Hackers. So he does have a special place in my heart as an actor. But you're right. He was fairly annoying.
So over the top in that movie.
But he's over the top in everything he does.
Yeah, but this is not Scooby-Doo, you know what I mean? Like, the expressions are there, but he's just, like, it works with Scream because of his character in Scream.
He's animated, isn't he? He's
very animated.
Yeah, in this one, maybe he should have toned
it down a little bit, yeah.
I mean, he can't. He's himself, right? So.
No, I actually don't think he's a very good actor. I think he's just him.
Yeah.
It works or it doesn't. I don't think there's a huge amount of range, shall we say.
That's why his best roles... That's why his best roles are the character that he's literally playing a version of himself in a different time period.
Yeah.
You think about Hackers. Career. Yeah, you think about Hackers. I mean, his character is literally just a version of himself. That's it.
Yeah.
It's almost the same character as Stu, but even a little bit more out there in Hackers. That's basically it.
The thing is with the Stu character, he's blatantly going to be the killer at some point in the next one or the one after. They're going to pull him back in as. He never died, and because it's going to happen. You can see it happening. Now they've pulled Neff Campbell back in because the other two have quit.
Well, one of them was fired, and the other
one fired, and the other one walked.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. We'll see.
All right. So
I have some
to wrap things up.
Yeah, let's wrap.
Yes,
within 2 hours.
Let's start wrapping things up because we're just going to keep talking and talking, guys.
Yeah, it's true. And it is 1 a.m.
something that could go on. Well, yes, exactly. Is it 1 a.m.?
Although it's 1 a.m. for me, yeah. Although it would have been 2 based on daylight saving time. So I am an hour ahead.
There
I mean,
you
I
go.
should go to bed, but I'll probably just put the PlayStation on for an hour instead because I wasn't due to go to bed yet. So, you know, insomnia
There we
rules.
go. So many rules. What is this? But
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of sleep.
we
It's
don't
been
have
a really
a
good
date
week.
for next month, but we
No.
will have it soon for you guys, and we'll post it.
And we'd like to ideally do 4 movies. So I'm more than happy to pull 4 out of obscurity, or we as a group we all have a lot of history and background and knowledge in the genre. But more importantly, tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Nothing better than, and you know, come join us, come chat with us. Tell us what you think about a certain movie and see if we agree, see if we don't. Join us on our other platforms. You know, Mel does incredible work with a lot of musicians. Keith's going to become a superstar soon, and leave us behind in the dust.
Never.
But it's fun. Come join us. We have a blast.
Instead of staying in the comments, you can always come sit down with us.
Yeah.
And come talk with
Come
us.
join us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget, next week Keith has his album coming out with Knightfall.
It's finally here after 2 years of production.
Keep your eyes open on the Nyxus Podcast on the Melany Nyx page. I will have 2 tickets to give out for the Carolina Vet Fest, which I will be present as part of Carolina Promotions. So yeah, keep looking. It's gonna be an awesome.
Cool.
All the proceeds go to Positive Actions, who will give out puppies, little golden retrievers, to veterans, so they can train them to become service dogs.
Awesome.
So, the
That's
bands
incredible.
are coming. They're doing
That's
it for
amazing.
free. All the veterans, all the volunteers. It is an incredible thing.
So I know we weren't going to touch on that, but I've got to say something. So like our family, my wife, her side, very much military. We've got a lot of veterans, and we've got certain situations where we've had a person pass from post-traumatic, right? Because they bad things happen when that stuff.
Yeah.
So we are very much into this type of thing, making sure that our veterans are taken care of, because unfortunately in the United States our veterans are not taken care of the way that they should be. Absolutely. And I want to bring this to the forefront right now while we've got a moment, because I feel like it's extremely important to talk about this. And we need to do more. So when I see stuff like this, that, like Mel's saying that they're doing, this warms my heart, because more and more needs to be. That this is just the tip of the iceberg. We need to do more for our veterans who are suffering from PTSD, because that's what these service dogs are there to help for, right? They're to help them cope with what's going on. And it's so important. Otherwise, you're going to end up like my brother-in-law, right? So if you have a chance to help, donate, do anything that's going to help the veterans of the United States, please take part in this, because this is something that is so important. I think the statistic is terrible when it comes to suicide amongst veterans. I don't have it in front of me.
We're going to have a special episode where I'm going to have Michael, who is a veteran, and my partner in Carolina Promotions, Positive Actions, will be here also to talk.
Awesome.
So we're going to bring more light to it. We are also looking for volunteers. So if you're around the Gastonia area here in North Carolina, give me a shout if you want to volunteer for the day. And we are looking for sponsors.
Wish I was closer.
Always looking for sponsors, right? Because unfortunately, money is what makes us be able
everything.
to put the show on, to make more money for the veterans.
Yeah. And what date is that again for the people?
It's going to be on, hold on a second, I have 2 festivals in the month of May, so it gets, May 4th. So May the 4th be with you with the veterans.
Star Wars Day.
Yes, we're going to have armory vehicles there, live music, beer pong.
It's really cool.
Kinds of fun stuff.
Sounds great.
On. Yes.
Yep, raise that money, help the vets.
Yeah.
Always help the vets.
Absolutely.
100%.
Well, that's about it for this.
I think we're done.
I think that's a wrap.
This month was crazy. The movies were insane. Let's see what we can do next month.
Onwards and upwards.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Thank y'all.
Until next time.
Scare me. I love being scared, so I need them.
Thank y'all for joining, and don't forget to pick up the Knightfall album out on the 22nd of March.
We're going to make sure to... Oh, and before we go, The F.E.A.R podcast has a page on Facebook.
Yeah,
Go follow it.
It's true. Yeah.
We need more followers so I can add it to the live. I was trying today and I was like, yay, not enough followers. Boo. So if you guys can go follow it, it would be much appreciated.
Go follow the F.E.A.R page.
Keith, Marc, thank you so much for always being here and doing this
Pleasure.
project with me. All right, guys, we will see you next month.